Hi, Sean Still, and in this video I am going to show you issues and filters from the left-hand navigation pane. And so if we click on issues and filters, we start to see some options, all right? We can see things that have been updated recently, resolved, created, viewed, done. For instance, if I hit created, it's going to search for issues that have been created most recently. And in this case, these are a number of issues that I created for our test project. You can see that the list is quite lengthy. And in fact, you can actually see that it is greater than 4 pages long. Done issues, if we want to look for done issues, we can certainly look for those. If we want to look for updated issues, we can certainly look for those. Open issues, all issues. These are all just shortcuts to querying for certain pieces of information. So the other one is this right here, and it is search for issues. All right. So if we hit search for issues, now what it's doing is it is opening up not only this pane right here, and this right here is our results. In this case, it is going from greatest, or it's ordered by created date, so the one that was most recently created, and it's going on down the list. This right here is giving us some details around the issue. So if I click on the next one, it's going to give me these details that are specific to that issue. But let's jump up here to this right here. So this right here allows us to create a query to go find a very specific piece of information. And these are some basic types. So I can click on project. I can narrow it down to a particular project, a particular issue type, status. If I want to see only the things that are in the done status, or the things that are only in the open status, I can do that. If I know who it's been assigned to, I can select that person. Or if I just want to select a piece of text that I want it to search against, it'll do that. It also gives me the option of adding some more items on here. These are all fields within the JIRA issue that we can search against. Once we do have it, we hit our search icon, and it goes back and it gives us the list based on what we have selected up here. The other way of doing it is this advanced. Now, advanced takes a little bit of practice to get used to it. And advanced uses what they call a JQL language, a JIRA query language. And in the JIRA query language, you can have very simple queries that you've built, or you can have really complicated, complex queries that you can build. And again, all that is to help you locate certain pieces of information very quickly. The filters or the search queries that you build can also be used on certain reports or metrics or things of that nature. So there's a wide variety of uses for these. But I'm going to show you how to just write a very simple one, very basic one. Now, when you use JQL, you notice that as soon as I start typing, all right, I instantly see a red box, meaning that the query doesn't make sense to Jira, so it doesn't have anything it can look against. Now, at the very minimum, it needs 3 items. It needs what I call a noun, a verb, and an object. Okay, let me demonstrate what that is. The noun in this case is going to be project. And as I start typing a project, it's going to go out and it's going to find that piece of data. All right, and it's going to display it to me. So project. I'm going to go space equals, and it starts to anticipate, based on what I type in, it starts to anticipate the next piece of syntax or the next piece of JQL language that I can put in there. In this case, I'm going to select equals. So I've got my noun, I've got my verb, and now I need my object. All right, and in this case, project equals Sean's test project. And you can see that once I have satisfied Jira's 3 requirements, minimum of 3 requirements, it went from a red X to a green check mark, meaning that, hey, you've given me enough that I can now go and search for something. It doesn't mean that it's going to return something for you. All right, it just means that you have satisfied the minimum requirements. And we can go ahead and we can then hit our search icon and it comes back with the results. And in this case, these all happen to be issues that I created for my test project. Up here, once you get in here, once you have queried, you do have several options available for you. You can change the view if you wish to a detailed view, or from a detailed view to a list view. You can share the search by emailing other users by clicking this particular icon. You can export this filter if you wish, or you can select these 3 dots, and when you do a search, it also gives you some options. You can do bulk changes, or you can even import certain items. If you are playing around with the JQL and it's not quite working for you, you can always go back to the basic functionality by clicking right there where it says basic, and basically kind of do the same thing where I have selected my test project. I can select any other criteria that I might have. And in this case, just to give you an idea, just to kind of show you what it can do, I'm going to go components, dad. You guys will understand what these components are a little bit later. And then I hit it, and you can see that based on the criteria that I've given it, it's actually narrowed down some issues for me. So that is how you use the issues and filters option available to you. Once you have landed on a filter that you want to save, whether it's for metrics or reporting or whatever the case may be, you can do that by hitting up here, save as. We're going to give it a name. In this case, I'm going to call it Sean. Whoops. I accidentally just called it Sean. So I'm going to change that, or I'm just going to do a new one. In this case, I'm going to call it Sean Test Project Dad component. And I hit submit, and now it's saved that. And up here, if I want to save it as a filter, I can, or deselect it as a filter. When it's solid, it means it is one of my filters in my favorites. If I deselect it, it is no longer. But the other thing about it is that when I do create a filter or a query, it is only going to be available to me unless I change the permissions around it. Okay, so I come up here to where it says details, and I click on details, and then if you notice it says permissions. This filter is only visible to you. So if I want to make this filter available to anybody, or maybe a select group of people, whatever the case may be, I need to come over here to edit permissions. All right, and in the edit permissions, I can change the name if I want to. I can give it a description. One of the things I recommend in the description is you just simply give it who created it and the date at the bare minimum. This is useful for if you need to go back and rebuild something, or you want to know who created it, you can go back and you can do that. So I've given it a description. If I want to give it a different description, maybe something a little bit more descriptive, I can certainly do that. Again, I've got the option of turning on or off, making it a favorite or not. But here, right here, this is where we're going to take the filter and be able to share it. All right, so we can see that right now it's not shared with anybody. In this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to say any logged in user can utilize this filter. So I'm going to click any logged in user, and then I'm going to hit add. And now you can see that this is shared with any logged in user. I can hit save. And you can see that it saved that, and there you go. So now anybody can look and use this filter. So if I come down here to view all filters, I will see the filter that I created. And you can also see that as far as access goes, you can see that it is open to anyone. So that's how you use issues and filters from the left-hand navigation pane. The one takeaway from it is when you are using search, there is what they call the basic search, which is this up here. There's the more advanced, which requires JQL knowledge. And once you do land on a search, not only saving it, but also making it available to the right people. So, thank you very much, and look forward to talking to you in the next video. Bye.